Alright, so, like, this is kind of the one style of deck that I don't really mind playing in Legacy. Just, like, stompy decks are, like, they're almost therapeutic in a way. You just kind of, like, put your stuff into play and ask, like, is my stuff good enough? We've got 26 lands, which feature Wasteland, Rishadan Port, and Ghost Quarter. Because this deck's trying to play Leonin Arbiter, which is nice. And then we've also got 4 copies of Mox Diamond to not only power out Leonin Arbiter and Thalia, but also copies of Chalice of the Void. And then we've got some copies of Palace Jailer appear as pseudo removal and some card advantage. And then we've got some Ranger-Captain of Eos, Sanctum, other various tools. We got Mikaeus here to search up with Ranger-Captain Eos. The Sentries play with X11 counters on it. And then it can power up the rest of our squad. So, this is an archetype that's kind of a testament to if you put 4 Chalice of the Void in your deck and cards that let you cast it on turn 1, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Although things like Palace Jailer are genuinely powerful. Hey, what's going on, Marty? Yeah, the kids and the kids and Christy are home today, but I wanted to do my normal day. I'm planning to do shorter days between now and when rotation happens, so I didn't want to take a whole day off. Did my moto crash trying to find a match? Oh no. I had to get foil Mox Diamonds because Traders was out of non-foil ones. Are my foil Mox Diamonds going to sit here and crash the client on us? I think there's a chance our foil Mox Diamonds might have just done us in. Maybe we won't pull up the picture of the deck while we try and find matches. You know, I don't think I played I played a tender on MCQ yesterday. Declan Scott. I'm streaming from an Ubuntu system, but Moto crashing is not operating system specific. It's a Moto feature. Wine is what we like to refer to as bug compatible with many applications. Oh look, this time when Moto loaded, we have artwork. That's nice. If I would pick two cards to block WotC from adding to Historic, what would they be? Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge. Those are the ones I'd prefer to not have. What's going on, Troll? Good morning. Oh, we are in open chat because we played Warhammer on Friday. That's fine. We can leave it until people annoy me. No, they've not confirmed any cards they're adding yet. And they have a little bit of time, right? So, like, we're gaining a historic queue with the next client update when rotation happens, but it's not really going to be supported until November. Pontiff works. In what respect? What 5 cards did they mention on stream? I have no idea. What is that? What does that refer to, Metalix? Which cards did they mention? No, those are just examples of powerful cards they have the option to add. This game doesn't have a Mox Diamond in it, but like, not all of our hands are gonna have Mox Diamonds in them. Yeah, I think Historic has a lot of potential. As an example, there were two MCQs on Magic Online this weekend, and the modern one had over twice as many players as the standard one. So like, people are acting like the price difference in Historic is unprecedented, but like, there's a price difference, a very stark price difference in Modern and Standard, and Modern is wildly more popular. So like, Wizards is just wanting that extra money for themselves instead of for third-party vendors. This matchup's probably really bad for us. So my opponent played an Eldrazi Temple here, which implies that they are also a Chalice of the Void deck, which means our Chalice of the Void doesn't have text. However, we have 2 Wastelands in our opener, which are probably pretty good here. I actually think Leonin Arbiter is pretty fine in Legacy. It's in Modern where I don't think this card is particularly good. Wait, are we playing like a Pseudomere? They have Plains in their deck? That's strange. Yeah, the oldest 4 sets. Standard's rotation cycle goes from 5 sets up to 8 and then back down to 4. Or back down to 5, sorry. Yeah, wow, it's like actually a mirror match, huh? So I can do this. Cast this Mox, discard this. Cast Thalia of my own. Everyone's playing MTGO these days because we are at a historically low point for Standard. Standard, everyone, as someone whose numbers under Magic Arena were like 100% higher than Moto on average earlier this year, my numbers playing Arena versus playing Magic Online for the last couple weeks have not been meaningfully different. Because people are ready for a change. Modern also just got a huge shakeup. And this points like this are exactly why getting Historic as a format is so important. Because getting Historic as a format will give us something meaningful to do during these Standard low points. Were there any Stoneforge Mystics in the top 8 of the Moto Challenge? Did they post the top 8 of the Moto Challenge? I guess I didn't go look at that yet. Deckless. Yeah, there is the Moto Challenge. Sweet. Our Modern Challenge. They don't have the MCQ up yet. We name Human with this one. And then Palace Jailer here. I guess I could get in trouble with this if they have Reality Smasher. If they have Reality Smasher, they can take my thing back. So, Palace Jailer makes us what's called the Monarch. Which, becoming Ooh, there was a Jeskai deck in third. It's exciting. No Teferi with their Spellquellers is interesting, though. There's 2 on the board. So the Monarch lets us draw an extra card at the end of every turn, which is great. Well, I was going to top 32 the MCQ, but then they had a 10th round for some stupid reason. And I lost the 10th round and then missed top 32 on tiebreakers because I'm incredibly unlucky. Which is some nonsense because we only had 409 players, which should have been 9 rounds of Swiss. So there should not have been another round of Swiss. I won 70% of my matches in the MCQ tournament yesterday and got 0 prizes for my $30 entry fee. That to give you some context into how good Magic pricing is. I won 70% of my matches and got nothing after paying $30. It's fine. It's nice to get to, like, go and experience that from the comfort of my own home, as opposed to, like, flying to a Magic tournament to experience that. At least I didn't fly across the country to get unlucky. Glass half full. So they're almost certainly a Chalice deck too, so I'm going to cut my Chalices. Warping Wail might be okay here. Probably not. I'm just going to bring in the Jitte and the Winds. I got 1 slot still. Probably 1 Whale, I guess. It's fine. I felt like playing a little bit modern, and there was a tournament. The blue-red Delver deck is sweet. It's not way higher, but it's higher. The average professional Magic player that's doing well tends to have somewhere in like the 60 to 65 win % range. Yeah, competitive Magic is very much first or nothing. I played blue-red Delver. This hand seems okay. Thalia, Heretic, Cathar is probably pretty reasonable. Alright, so do we just... think we just Warping Wail this. Since we have it in the opener and it's otherwise going to kill my Thalia. Banning looting was the best thing they did for Modern in a long time. Please do Mox Opal next. You think the changes to competitive they announced will help mitigate the first or nothing aspect? No, not at all. I don't think they're attempting to address that. A lot of people like the extremely top-heavy slant that competitive Magic has. In fact, the extremely top-heavy slant that competitive Magic has is a big part of why I stopped traveling and started just doing content full-time. You know what you're getting into going in, right? Like, while it sucks that like I won 70% of my matches and missed getting any prizes on tiebreakers yesterday, it's like I knew what I was getting into going in, right? It's hard to be too upset. Yeah, nice Reality Smasher. Palace Jailer. Nice Reality Smasher indeed. I don't have to discard a card. This is a triggered ability and not a spell, which is sweet. Was I... Sure, you tapped her. So I'm going to jump block here because I don't want them to take the Monarch and draw a card. Do you think they have a basic waste in their deck? Do we think they have a basic waste in their deck? Ghost Quarter is not super commonly played in this format, neither is Path to Exile. So, like, playing a basic waste could potentially be something that they're not doing. Okay. Throwing away 2 of my lands after I draw this feels bad. Hopefully they don't rip a colorless source here. If they rip a colorless source, I'm pretty sad that I did what I did. Although I guess Mikaeus also doesn't do anything in the face of Eldrazi Displacer, so there's that. Umezawa's Jitte, yep. So now the question is, do they... That's a good one to have come into play tapped, because I can bounce my Thalia. Do they want to equip this and shove with just this? If they equip this and shove with both, I can first strike this down and chump block here. Oh yeah, that's true too. This makes their colorless sources sad. That's good. Good pickup. If they attack with just this, I'm going to double block. If they attack with both, I'm going to chump plus eat this. I don't know. I think like your line ends up being pretty bad in a variety of situations, Savior, including them drawing an Umezawa's Jitte. So I assume they're going to kill this. Am I just passing here? Yeah, but it still ends up being bad in the face of Umezawa's Jitte because they play and equip it over the course of 2 turns. And then they have a 4/4. So like trying to apply pressure with my 3/2 first strike when they have a 4/4 on board, like the line of like, let's be aggressive into the face of a 4/4 with my 3/2 is just like also not something that's realistic. Oh, you know what? I think we're dead here because of their Karakas. I need to draw like another Palace Jailer. I don't think I'm gonna be able to beat this. So they're gonna get to. I should have made this a... No, even if I make this a 3/3, it doesn't matter. Because they're going to get to Karakas 1, and then Jitte counters kill the other. And then hit me and take my thing. All right. Whoever took 2 matches to get annoyed by the general population of Twitch chat, you took the way under on that. Welcome. Welcome back, Huglandia. Sip the Jack, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I think we're dead here. Oh, I was like, where did the Reality Smasher came from? It was under the Monarch token, right? Yeah, we're super dead. Yeah, I'm just gonna run it back. Yeah, Blackguard midrange seems like the kind of natural progression of Mardu Pyromancer in a post Faithless Looting world. Was unsurprised it died to Valakut Titan in the quarterfinals. There were only 8 Stoneforge Mystic in the challenge top 8. That's so weird. That seems fine. I think Sanctum Prelate's pretty bad here too. This match is kind of awkward. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I just expect our deck to be a huge dog in this matchup. We have the Palace Jailers, which give us a little bit of a leg up, but none of our hate cards are very good here. Mazero, thank you for the half a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Could just do that. Might be wrong to discard the Cavern there, because the Cavern makes my second white source for Ranger-Captain. Is it really spicy? Like, I don't know. I guess I just like look at, it's probably just because I've been playing Modern for so long, but I can't look at a deck that's playing like 8 1-mana discard spells and Lightning Bolt and just be like, oh yeah, this is exceptionally interesting. It feels, this is a very good draw. It feels weird, right? Like, it's like, no, this isn't really interesting. It's like, this is just like what every fair deck looks like. It's kind of like the Chalice, the Void decks in Legacy, right? Like, you can change whatever you're killing people with, but like, it's not super relevant what you're killing people with. Rishadan Port's extra good against City of Traders because this card sacrifices when they play another land. Lawn Care Day. Yep. Unfortunately, the rest of my hand's not going anywhere. Maybe we'll just kill them in 9 attacks with this Leonin Arbiter. That would be nice. We got We got him on that sweet, sweet cat clock. I mean, that line doesn't really apply to Modern, Zijad. Because, like, Modern tends to have a pretty diverse selection of converted mana costs. Not, like, there's some decks, like Infect, that you really get, but especially with Hagak biting the bullet, like, there's far fewer decks that are just, like, all in on 1 mana spells. I think I'd rather just keep porting them than play the second Leonin Arbiter out, because I don't want them to, like, have a chance to, like, float 2 mana with City of Traders, play a second land. That's not ideal. Huh. There's a good chance most of their lands are non-basic, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and jam Thalia here. Just try and get the faster clock going. Yeah, Legacy has a lot of these types of games. The resource denial is really generates some pretty uninteresting games of Magic overall. So, like, now I Wasteland you, then I go back to porting you. Most of their lands, yeah, their creatures come into play tapped for Looter Scooter now. So, like, there's a good chance my opponent basically, like, loses this game, never getting to do anything. Which is why, like, Legacy is a format where, like, cards like Ponder and Preordain and Brainstorm are legal to reduce variance a great deal, but there's lots of other cards in the format that increase variance to an absurd degree. Like Rishadan Port, like Wasteland. Cards that attack people's mana take the natural variance that's baked into Magic and they crank it up to like a 12. Hey, PCV. Thanks for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So like I said, I would assume this matchup is hard for us, but decks like this, like between Chalice of the Void and these resource denial features, like, they frequently just make their opponents just not play a game. It's not like my opponent got exceptionally unlucky that game to only have 1 land. Like, there's 2 lands in their graveyard. We just, like, one of their lands died naturally. We killed another, and then this soft locked the third. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Rishadan Port and Wasteland aren't cards that we print anymore. Yes, yep, this is exactly what we signed up for in Legacy. Completely agree. I'm sure what we just did to them is going to happen to us at some point this league. So I don't think they kept a 1-land City of Traders. So I think what happened was my opponent kept City of Traders plus Eldrazi Temple with Looter Scooter and a 4-drop. And the fact that I hit the Rishadan Port really punished them for that. So what their play was likely going to be that game is they were Looter Scootered on 1, and then they intended to float mana plus play Thought-Knot Seer on 2 to then start activating the Looter Scooter and also have a 4/4. I would assume their keep was fine, and the fact that we had Rishadan Port ended up really punishing the sequence that they had to start with. Yeah, people ask me what cards do I not want in Historic. Rishadan Port, Wasteland, Blood Moon, and Staring Bridge. These are a few of my least favorite things. Please never ever print these again into new formats. So, I think one of the biggest things to take away from the Faithless Looting ban, and the Stoneforge Mystic unban, honestly, is that Modern really isn't different than before, especially when you consider the fact that, like, Burn got a big upgrade. Like, the format, the details have muddled and changed as to what are the decks doing it, but Modern is still a format that is just about brutal efficiency. It's not like Stoneforge Mystic didn't change the name of the game, basically. It's still a format about where you need to be interactive very, very quickly, or you need to be killing people very, very quickly, ideally through a couple pieces of disruption. So the 3/4 of a year of support whipping rhinos, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Happy Monday. Hope everyone in the US is enjoying their Labor Day. Hope everyone else is having a great start to their week. Yep. Yeah, 2 of my 3 losses yesterday were to burn with Blue-Red Delver. So maybe I need to revisit that matchup and like think about what cards I want in my sideboard for it. Maybe I want another Dispel. It's hard to say though. The burn deck, like, so because they gained the cycle lands, like Burn's draws where they only draw 3 lands are often impossible to beat. And like, because they have lands that cycle, most of their draws only draw 3 lands now. That is not how this job works, PCV. So I have this one to name Human on, so I think I'm going to name Construct on this and just guaranteed resolve my Walking Ballista here. Yep, yeah, I agree, Zud. So long, Cavern, I hardly knew ya. Alright, get to porting. Welcome to Thunderdome. Hey, Miker Mom. Thanks for doling out a sub gifty. Welcome to Hoglandia the Dream. Congrats on being lucky this morning. Hashtag sometimes lucky. Well, I mean, them wasting my non-cavern land here is, like, actually pretty okay for me, right? And, like, my deck has a lot of lands in it, so I really don't mind them taking their turns to do this. Yeah, I agree. To set an incredibly low bar, I think Burn frequently has more decisions to it than decks like Green, Black, Rock, and Jund. Green, Black, Rock, and Jund are what I refer to as like point-and-click decks. Hold on, folks, we're gonna do it again. Hold on, folks, we're gonna do it again. Third time's the charm. This is it. This is the port. So, hey, Full Metal, thanks for the tip. Ooh. Where's my dashboard at? Let's actually get holiday pay the day. Here's helping you do the same. Put the Sword Dealer's Choice. Will do. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a great holiday. Alright, so we'll need to give my opponent a turn with their mana next turn, but I do think I want to just play this Ranger-Captain of Eos here. And I feel like they probably don't have the 4th Wasteland, although I suppose their play could be Ren and Stimpy pick Wasteland back up next turn. I've not played any Legacy since Ren and Stimpy got printed. Oh, that's awkward. I'm not going to be able to play this next turn. Or I'm not going to be able to get anything with this next turn, because I already have Ballista in this. Just upkeep Ranger Captain. Nah, that's I'm like, why? Like, if they waste me off the Cavern, my deck still has a bunch of lands in it. I can just attack Ren and Stimpy down. Like, it's really not a big deal. Hopefully they cast, like, a Tarmogoyf here, and I get to go, like, Plains, Palace Jailer, take your thing, start drawing cards. we can get Palace Jailer going, we should be in a pretty good spot. Delver, sure. Also willing to jailer that. Actually, that's not true. We're just gonna Pontiff that, right? Yeah, we'll just Pontiff that. Means I don't draw a card sooner, but I mean, I literally have Cavern of Souls, Danny, and I have like a Walking Ballista in play. Now, there could be merit, now I was gonna say, to holding this till a Mongoose, but Mongoose is gonna be loose anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Pontiff kind of showing us why it's sweet here. If we're Pontiffing, isn't it better to play Ghost Quarter to threaten their duels? Well, like, why do I want to Wasteland them? What is taking them off their 4th land accomplish? Can you riddle me this? I guess now I can Ghost Quarter plus Port plus Thalia, which pressures their mana a little bit. I think a lot of these decks have a basic island. Nope. Alright. Hey, diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the Thalia jumped over the moon. Okie doke. Cavern of Souls and Chalice of the Voyage, chat. Let's do it. Let's do it and do it and do it and do it again. Huh. So, buttons on your underwear. What do I want to do here? I think I want these Winds of Abandon. It's possible I want Umezawa's Jitte. Card's pretty good with first strike creatures. Mikaeus is probably a little bit slow and clunky. I'll just leave in 1 Ballista and 1 Ranger-Captain. We'll bring in Jitte and the Winds of Abandon. This is basically like a Path to Exile that we can cast through a Chalice on 1. Yeah, it might be too cute, Marty. I think this is better than Dismember, though. I don't know. I also have some black sources, so maybe it's worse than playing Dismember. I could go either way on that. Hey, Big Stan. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Does Chalice on 2 stop the Overlord of Winds of Abandon? It does. The converted mana cost is still 2. Yeah, it could be Plagued Wind, but that's not why we're playing the card. The probability of it being a Plagued Wind is low. My opponent submitted a 62 card deck. Okay. I think Temur Shift is both worse than Red-Green Valakut Titan and more interesting to play. But it's also like a really low bar, because like, Red-Green Titan Shift is so dry, we could probably create a flowchart to play it like 80% optimally. Temur Scape Shift gets to register a bunch of copies of Cryptic Command, which is like, Cryptic Command is bae. Yeah, this hand's great. So the real question here is, do I lead on Cat Jesus or Thalia? I feel like I'm supposed to lead on Cat Jesus here, because most of their lands are fetch lands. And they don't currently have a red source in play. So, like, they can't bolt this unless they naturally have a Volk. You got him. PVT Skittles, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Well, golly. I think I'm supposed to Thalia first here. I think I want to Thalia before I Wasteland. If they like go land Goyfir, I'm a little bit sad. Blue Ponder. Yep, resolves. Why is the dude called Cat Jesus? I don't actually know the origin of that name, but that's what we refer to him as. You may daze or force this one. I give you permission. So, like, losing our third land kind of sucks, but I think it's worth taking them off of red here. Yeah, if they didn't take this trade, I was going to shoot it after we did damage. I was just trying to get in a free point here. So I like that block from the opponent. And again, this is just like another one of those games where, like, you know, my opponent's basically just not getting to play. That's the goal. It's the goal of our deck. Our deck doesn't really beat people that do things, so the goal is to stop them from doing said things. Okay, so yes, we really need to draw a land. still hasn't flipped. That's so good for us. Oh, please draw a land. Please draw a land. Please draw. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hit me, dealer. Hit me. Come on, dealer. Papi! Papi! Someone asked why we had Orzhov Pontiffs when we were looking at the deck to start. Hit me, baby, one more time. Beep, beep, doo, doo. Beep, beep, doo, 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 beep, 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 doo, doo. Got him. Got him. A robbery. We were in control of that game for its entirety. Thank you very much. At no point was our opponent in that game. We had Leonin Arbiters into Thalias into Wastelands, and it was not a good scene for our Delver opponent. Who's a good little Orzhov Pontiff? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's not like a career best Orzhov Pontiff, but like it's up there. It's up there. And to just give you context of how slow Legacy and Magic Online tend to be, this league is going quickly, and we've only played 2 matches in 50 minutes. Beep, 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 doo, 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 doo. Do, 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 do. How's my studio going? It's on hold. Hit some issues. I have to find someone else to get the work done in it. So the room I'm in now is good enough. We're mostly past summer, so like even when my wife and kids are home, I don't have to worry about the air conditioning running too much. So it's not that big of a deal. It take a lot of processing power. It's not even about the actual rate of the application so much as like it just doesn't have the extra things that Arena has to make gameplay snappy, right? The gameplay in Arena is very fast. Yeah, nothing about Moto is snappy. The power level of Legacy is higher than Modern, so why is Legacy a slower format? It's not even about the speed of the format. Here in Q, it's about the types of things that these decks are doing, or the application is more to blame than anything. Who's at my door? Is there a tiny child at my door? No. No? Who is it then? Open the door? I don't know about that. Should I open the door, chat? I'm told it's not a tiny child. Oh, it is a tiny child.
I tricked you.
You tricked me.
Yummy candy.
Oh, you know there's candy in my office? Can you say hi to the internet?
Yeah. Hi, silly internet.
Silly internet. I agree, they're pretty silly.
Da-da. I have gummy sour candy.
You can, in fact, have a gummy sour candy because I love you.
I love you too.
Okay. Take those upstairs and close the door behind you. Alright, so I think we just dropped this on human and then dropped the Sanctum Prelate on 1. I know I drew the Chalice, but I think I just dropped this on 1. Because this can't be countered. Own Bare Hand, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. That's kind of punishing for my sequencing here. It's like now they got this Delver down. The only reason I have Twitch. Well, thanks for taking the time to link that up and keeping me around here. Twitch Prime pays my mortgage. Now, because they're a Delver deck, they might not have basics. There's a chance this Ghost Quarter's just a Wasteland. Like a Pyromancer here, we're going to be in trouble. Dreadhorde Arcanist, yep. That's pretty good. That is a great draw because it kills Delver before it flips over. It eats me in the air. Don't daze me, bro. Have a heart. Walking Ballista has been really good. I kind of wish there was a second one. 13,000 per CQ to play WoW Classic. Join a different server. Good golly. Lordy, join a different server. What an incredibly interesting and engaging game of Magic the Gathering my opponent and I are playing. So we just want to draw, like, lands for the next 2 turns. If we hit lands for the next 2 turns and our opponent just keeps drawing 1-mana spells, like this Palace Jailer will take over easy peasy. Rishadan Port. Alright. That means if we draw a land next turn, we get to go get Mikaeus. Hey, Scrafted, good morning. Or afternoon or night, wherever you're at. Welcome. I'm probably going to save this Chalice to put on 2. I think there's probably a pretty good chance game 1. I guess they could have K-Command. K-Command could kill my Sanctum Prelate and my Chalice. Cast a 3/3, concede. Alright, sure. Oh. Warping Wail sounds great here. They're probably a Pyromancer deck too. This exiles power, toughness 1 or less. Is this a Jitte matchup? This is probably a little bit expensive. Jitte's probably okay here. I don't know really what I want to cut, though. Let's try this. Jitte is a little bit slow to get going on the draw. Yeah, exactly, Zjad. this hand's fine. Yeah, Jitte's not a sword. It's literally just combat damage. It is disgusting. Don't daze me, bro. Yeah, there should probably just, like, we're really good at drawing the one of Walking Ballista. There should probably just be more Walking Ballistas in this deck. Missile drop. Rats. I think because I don't have another land, I lead on Sanctum here. Sanctum Prelate's like a newer templated Chalice. So fun fact for people who are newer to Magic. When Chalice... Man, Legacy's so dumb. When Chalice of the Void was printed, it was against tournament rules to allow your opponent to miss mandatory triggers. So Chalice was kind of like a card where it did guaranteed counter everything. So in tournament Magic, you can play a 1-mana spell into Chalice and have your opponent miss the trigger and your spell can resolve, and that's fine. But the way Sanctum Prelate is worded, if you cast a 1-mana spell knowingly while Sanctum Prelate is on the table, that's against the rules and it's cheating. And if you knowingly do that, you'll get DQ'd and investigated. So that difference between the rules is kind of awkward in a lot of ways, I think. And confusing if you're newer to the game. This hand's like not amazing, but it's fine. Looks like Hagak Depths. I have to imagine this match is probably pretty bad for us. I guess Leonin Arbiter is actually pretty good here, huh? Lindix, thanks for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. So long, Chalice, my old friend. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Human with this one. We're gonna play a Cat Jesus. It could imply they don't have a third land. It could imply that their third land is Dark Depths. I do have what's it called? I have copies of Karakas in my deck too, which are pretty okay here. I have Winds of Change post board. I have Palace Jailer, so like maybe we're not just dead here. If they don't have another land, yeah, we just get to like play second Cat Jesus and Ghost Quarter them here. Needs 3 lands to get bigger, right? Yeah, Ghost Quarter and Wasteland can also interact with Dark Depths. Ding, ding, ding goes the trolley. Ring, ring, ring goes the bell. I did, Beetle. I did. Completely and utterly destroyed Modern. So, the reason why you're allowed to have people miss triggers in paper is because the base answer is basically because it's messy if you don't allow it. So like it feels really bad to remind your opponent how their cards work while they're beating you. And if you make it against the rules, it leads to a lot of really awkward investigations where like you have to figure out, did someone genuinely miss what their opponent's card does? Or were they aware and are they cheating? I'm not gonna lie, this deck is like way better than I was expecting it to be. Was not expecting this deck to hum along as well as it has been. Famous last words, maybe. I don't know. Pontiff doesn't do much here. I mean, I think a big part of it is just like, again, a testament to the fact that like, if you play some Chalice of the Voids and some Wastelands and some Mox Diamonds, like the rest of your cards don't really matter. Containment Priest doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't stop tokens. Hagak technically gets cast from the graveyard. I'm gonna take a second and look up the Hagak depth step because I haven't actually played against it. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I guess I could technically bring in like Warping Wail because it exiles every creature except Hagak. I could also maybe just bring in a couple surgical extractions. Because, like, if I can surgical a Hagak out of the bin, or I can wasteland. Or I could wasteland them off a thing and then surgical it. Warping Wail. Warping Wail also counters a lot of their sorceries, though, too. You go either way on these. This is a touch awkward alongside my Chalice of the Voids. Are my Chalices even that good here? Yeah, I guess they are. They have like 8 discard spells, crop rotation. It's like 20 cards. Yeah, Chalice is probably fine. That's true. Yeah, let's bring these in. You know, let's bring in a bunch of surgicals. Let's do that. Walking Ballista is not particularly good. Maybe Sanctum Prelate's not good. Because Sanctum Prelate only stops non-creature spells, so it just shuts off Thoughtseize and crop rotation. Sure. Yeah, maybe Sanctum Prelate's the cut, actually. I think that might be the case. Oh no! They're gonna take our Mox Diamond, chat. We've been caught with our hand in the cookie jar. Morning, JZ. Hey, thanks for the quarter of a year, Chewy. Thanks for the 15 months, F Weasel. I am. I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one, wherever you are. Yikes. So, obviously, wasting their fetch doesn't accomplish much, but we're losing our Wasteland anyways, so might as well. I said earlier that there was a good chance at some point this league we were gonna get to not play Magic, right? That's what we've been doing to all of our opponents. This is peak legacy. I guess I should technically play this out, huh? If they have a Dark Depths, Ghost Quarter doesn't stop them anyways, because like they go to stage the depths, I Ghost Quarter it, they Hex Mage the depths. How many months of your mortgage do they have to pay to get you to play this? Actually, Chalice decks are the ones I'm most willing to accept in Legacy. Because like they are just genuinely good. Like there's a reason why we're 3-0 in this league. Like there are a lot of decks in Legacy where just like you roll through people with Chalice the Void. Dark Confidant. Alright, so we're gonna bring in Warping Wail for the third game for sure. Yeah, three wins gets our money back, which is nice. We are up a treasure chesty, which is nice considering I lit 30 Moto dollars on fire yesterday, going 7-3. We need more Moto money, chat. I don't want to put more dollars into Moto. Let's high roll and gamble here. Yeah, Manaless Dredge isn't really a playable deck though. It's a deck that people show up with on occasion because of the price you just listed. But in general, not really considered a playable archetype. Rats. I just don't know where the glasses are. Yay, Warping Wail. They're upstairs somewhere, so I just turned on my software red light filter, blue light filter, whatever it's called. Drax! Thanks for the 5 months, I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I choose you, Cat Jesus. That's true. Hex Mage can click off the Chalice, can't it? That's probably a reason to board the Chalices out, honestly. Although I guess that's still getting a 1-for-1, which is like fine. Are they gonna copy my Ghost Quarter? Sure. Tradesies. Okay. Yeah, Hexmage also has First Strike. These are my cards. If they have another discard spell, I assume they'll take Winds of Abandon here. Yeah, they killed Arbiter and they took the counter off Chalice, which does open up crop rotation, but they've also missed a land drop the last couple turns, which is meaningful. They have one land in their bin at the moment. My 5-year-old is loud. Hexmage, sure. Yes, that's on a different floor too. He's much louder in person. Alright, so that's a Wasteland. I think I want to just get Mikaeus going here. Although maybe I just want to Winds of Abandon this. Yeah, I think I just want to Winds this. Is that right? Did I board out my Walking Ballista like an idiot? I boarded out my Walking Ballista like an idiot. Not that really accomplishes anything. So, end of turn, this can go get a Dark Depths. And then I need 2 lands up to interact with it. So I guess I'm just playing this for 1. Yeah, Winds does cost 3, which does matter. Yeah, I assume we're going to see them turn a stage into a depths here. And then they have 2 ways to turn this into a thing, but then I have 2 ways to kill it in response, so that's not too bad for us. Their last card's a discard spell. We are a little bit of an awkward spot, but it's still not too bad. Hey, Weasel, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great Monday. Just for the record, in general, I don't have a problem putting money into Moto. I'm just a little salty that I went 7-3 and didn't get any prizes yesterday. I played a lot of Magic and had a good record. Would have been better off playing leagues. If I went 7-3 in 2 leagues, I'd end up like half a dozen chests. And I would have spent less money. I played a Moto MCQ yesterday. It's a good every once in a while I get like far enough away from having played a competitive tournament that I forget how much I kind of dislike playing competitive stuff, and then I'll play something, I'll just be like, oh right, this sucked. I would have had more enjoyment if it wouldn't taken my whole day, and I would have gotten more prizes if I just would have played a league. So I should have just played a league. GQ is Ghost Quarter. This card right here. I played Blue-Red Delver. Flashy Vendilion clicks and stuff. That's rude. So I'm forcing this action here because I have the Winds of Abandon in my hand. So like, if they make a 2020 in response here, I'm just like, yeah, okay, wins your 2020. Now I'm going to go ahead and wins their 3-4 here. They have cards like Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy. They frequently have cards like Sylvan Scrying, Crop Rotation, Elvish Reclaimer like we just exiled, Standard Staple. So we need to just dodge them finding their 4th Dark Depth, which they also have a lot of tutors to find too. So like if they hit like a Crop Rotation like we were just talking about, we're certainly dead. That is a very good one for us. That might lock the game up. Now, I think I just proactively surgical them here. So that way they can't... Like, if they had Crop Rotation, they probably would have gone for it there. So I think I just do it now so they can't draw it naturally and play it. No, I don't want to wait for their draw, because if they draw Crop Rotation, they get me. So I don't want them to be able to draw Crop Rotation. So they don't have any Gax in their deck. They have Plague Engineer. So they have some Bobs, a couple more Reclaimers, a couple of Hex Mages, a bunch of Wastelands. Okay, I exiled all their depths. Yep. Demir Spy. Thank you for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, boarding out depths in against a deck that's like likely to have interaction for it, like, doesn't seem unreasonable on their part. assume we'll trade Hex Mage for Thalia here. And then we'll play out this Ranger-Captain, have 2 lethal threats. Definitely should not have boarded out my Walking Ballista, but I did. It looks like it's not going to matter. Do we know they're on GAC? We technically haven't seen GAC, but most of these decks are playing GAC now. I guess it's possible that they're not, because they didn't have Stitcher Supplier or Satyr Wayfinder 2, so they might just be one of the older builds that's not playing GAC. Yeah, especially in Legacy, there's a lot of niche cards. Right, one more match with this, and we're gonna roll on to some Teamerscape Shift in Modern. 4-0, making back some of those chesties from yesterday. Thanks for the 20 months, Jerry. I appreciate that. Hope your Monday is finding you swell. Palace Jailer was really a huge pickup for these archetypes. Not only is it a little bit of removal that this style of decks always wanted, but a steady source of card advantage is huge. This was a viewer submission that had 5-0 to League. And I made a couple of changes. I believe the original submission only had 2 Palace Jailers in it. For some reason, if I recall. Yeah, there were only 2 Palace Jailers in the original submission. What did I cut? Oh, there were 2 Fiend Hunters in addition to Palace Jailer, and Palace Jailer is much better than Fiend Hunter. No, it's Teamerscape Shift, 3 color. We're playing 4 copies of Drawn from Dreams in the Teamerscape Shift deck today. So we'll see how that feels. Fishing by a volcano, yeah, exactly. Go on fishing, be back later. Yeah, this hand's great. Yes, has Mox Diamond and 2 lands, Sneaper Keeper. Modern playing Teamer. That's a good question. Teamerscape Shift could be in Standard today. Probably losing my Mox since I have 2 pair on the other ones. I believe Inquisition tends to imply a fair deck, but I'm also not super familiar with what Storm decks look like in a post-Gataxian Probe world, so... Putting this Cavern on Cleric makes both of these uncastable, which is sweet. Yeah, Wasteland, this one. Oh, that one's a Cleric too? That's so good. So this exposes the Leonin Arbiter to a Daze, but like with the Wasteland, they're gonna get to Daze or force something at some point anyways. So I'd rather the Port get Wastelanded than the Cavern get Wastelanded here. Storm deck swapped probes for Thought Seizes and Duresses. That makes a lot of sense because Inquisition doesn't take Force of Will. Wasteland tells us that our opponent's definitely playing a fair deck. Yep. Unsurprising to see them burn a Force there. Because they know that Cavern is coming, and they're not going to be able to force something in the future, most likely. They pitched a True Name Nemesis to Force of Will there. Oh, they don't have another land. Alright, well. Cleric. whenever possible, you want to make blue mana with Cavern of Souls because blue mana is objectively the best mana. Man, Pontiff has just been aces in this league. Cleric Tribal Tier 0. Listen, we are potentially working towards a 5-0 here. I don't know that we're strictly into garbage time yet, but we're definitely getting close. Nurturing Peatland. Feeling a little Sultai opponent. They have a Charmagoyf here that pumps the brakes on our attacking by a lot. Yeah. Need a land and a Palace Jailer. I'm gonna play Chalice on 1 as opposed to Sanctum Prelate, I think, because this stops Delver. It can get forced, but it stops Delver, which is nice. We're hoping they don't have a second Goyf here. Because I can potentially race one Goyf with these other 2 Prelates, but if they have a second one, we're just not going to be able to race that. Really want to draw Palace Jailer, just like the best draw on our deck in positions like this. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Tarmogoyf's a big boy. You are a little bit late to the party, Rishadan Port. Unfortunate that our opponent drew exactly a green source that wasn't a fetch land here. Oh, you know what? I think I should have named 2 with this. Yeah, I should have named 2 to keep because this is only non-creature spells, right? So 2 would keep them off of Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy if that's a card they play. Well, we might be one of the bigger MTG streams here, but being one of the bigger Magic streams in no way, shape, or form equates to being a big stream on Twitch. We're a big fish in a small pond. Regardless of what Hasbro executives tell their shareholders on conference calls, Magic is not a top 10 game on Twitch. Or a Gurmag Angler in a Legacy format. Something like that. Yeah, definitely should have named 2 with this. To be fair, World of Warcraft is slaughtering actual everything in terms of viewer numbers right now. So I don't know that that's a very fair comparison, but... Alright. Palace Jailer. That's not a Palace Jailer. Alright, let's find out if they have a basic land, shall we? That's good. Good information for future Jeff to have. Winds of Abandon is in my sideboard, so I do not have that in my main deck. Alright, so we're not just dead. So I get to play this, and then I get to double chump block, and then I can hit Palace Jailer. And then I can hit Palace Jailer and, take one of the Goyfs away. Splinter Twin has got it going on. She's all I want, and I've waited for so long. Mystic, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. I know I might be wrong, but I'm in love with Splinter Twin. Oh, all right. I can re-sing that with the actual melody. I understand what we're doing now. It's hard to know when it's gonna be a musical number when I start at the beginning. Should I sing it, or has the wonder been lost? All right, one of your finest Palace Jailer, please. Trigger. Oh no, they have a big fish. Big fish is not good for us. Speaking of big fish and small ponds. Yeah, Wurza's much better than Splinter Twin. I really don't enjoy playing against the Wurza deck. I like Modern a lot better now than I did prior, but it's the Wurza deck is not pleasant. It's much better than Splinter Twin. Wurza is Splinter Twin if Splinter Twin could randomly have its part of its combo tutor for 8 pieces. Should we have ported during combat? Yeah, technically. My opponent messed up and I messed up back. They should have waited till the second main phase to play their land. Double Glyph there was kind of a beating when we never saw a Palace Jailer. That was a good example of if our opponent does things, we die. And like, to be fair, they had to get pretty fortunate there, right? Like they had to draw exactly a green source that wasn't a fetch, because they couldn't cantrip because of Chalice, and they couldn't fetch because of Leonin Arbiter, and they had to have double Goyf, and we had to not have Palace Jailer, so a number of things broke their way. Luna Lockless, thank you for the 4 months. I had an alright weekend. We had folks over to play board games on Saturday night, and then yesterday I played the Modern Moto MCQ. We'll be able to call them PTQs again soon. Looking forward to going back to calling them PTQs because that's what's emblazoned in my brain. That was game 1, and yeah. Seems pretty good. Oh, we died. No, we died. We continued drawing blanks and they drew a Gurmag Angler. I think your Esper deck is one of 1,000 different decks that are very reasonable to play. I think a deck like that getting better is a pretty low bar. So, like, it's probably better than it was before, but it's still probably not busted. So unless someone really wants to play that archetype, they're not going to spend time on it. Oh, they're a True Name deck. I forgot we saw True Name. Yeah, I shouldn't have boarded out my third Pontiff. Yeah, Jailer kind of sucks against True Name, Chef Seth, but, like, your whole deck sucks against True Names. You might as well just, like, hope they don't get there, or hope they don't draw it, or hope you have a way to kill it. Be lucky, don't be unlucky, would be steps 1 and 2. For those not familiar. I agree. True Name. I played a lot of Legacy once upon a time, and the printing of True Name Nemesis was the big thing that caused me to stop playing as much and to stop enjoying it. Take my own advice. I got you. I got my own advice. I got your advice right here. We're forcing my Sanctum Prelate, sure. From the vintage game? No, they have not, Jerry. There's a meme from a vintage game, right? If I recall correctly. Survey says Tyrants scored. Yeah. Wow, this card's really good, right? Because it destroys lots of creatures that see play, and it bounces Merit Liege, right? Like this card seems absurd in this format. I'm gonna concede to True Name here. I don't have a black source to cast Pontiff, right? I guess if they hit me with True Name, we just kind of trade back and forth the Monarch. All right, we'll play a couple turns, especially since I drew this and can name Human. Because we could rip a Pontiff and maybe be okay. I definitely made a huge mistake boarding Pontiff out. They get their Delver back, but it flips over. Just by virtue of drawing a bunch of cards here, so we get 2 shots at one of our 2 Pontiffs. We'd have a third Pontiff if I had played better and boarded correctly. If they have another creature here, we're probably dead, because I'm not going to be able to take the Monarch back. But so long as we're like trading the Monarch back and forth every turn, I feel like we have a chance to be in the game still. Chalky was here at the end of last week, if I recall correctly. Not seen him yet this morning, though. I suppose we technically have 6 lands, and we have 2 Winds of Abandon we can draw to as well. Sure, Cavern, but they're not flipping it for another turn, so we should get at least one more draw off of our Palace Jailer, off of our thing here. Oh, really? They're just leaving that for me? That's pretty good. Huh? I'm gonna start by Wastelanding this, I think, and then playing Chalice of the Void for 1. Because they missed a land drop after they brainstormed last turn. And, like, they're kind of losing this race, right? Man, I'm really upset with myself that I boarded the Pontiff out. And didn't think about it. I was just thinking, like, they have Tarmogoyfs and Big Fishes. I forgot they had pitched a True Name to a Force of Will in game 1. It was like out of sight, out of mind. Really? They had a land last turn and just declined to play it. That's interesting. So this, taking the Monarch here, gives them back their Delver and lets them draw a card. And then we're hoping to fade Tarmogoyf here. But again, they didn't have a Goyf last turn. So maybe they don't have one this turn? Just a friendly reminder, if you're going to tell me I made a mistake, you need to articulate why what I did was a mistake. Don't just be rude and tell me I'm wrong. Help me learn. Educate me. So for example, instead of saying, I think Chalice on 2 is better in this matchup, say, Jeff, I think it's potentially better to put Chalice on 2 and this is why. And then explain. So for example, I would think it's probably not great to put Chalice on 2 because not only does, while topping Tarmogoyf is ideal, my opponent has Abrupt Decays in their deck. They also have yet to play a Tarmogoyf. It's like there's that aspect of it too. I'm going to just Wasteland them off the strut. Yeah, Winds of Abandon would be pretty decent. Pontiff, also great at any point. Slightly less great now that they flipped Insectile Aberration, but still reasonable. And even if we don't draw a removal spell here, I'm gonna have to attack headlong in because I want to get the Monarch back so I can draw another card, because that's our chance here. Yeah, Winds of Abandon is also pretty bad if we put a Chalice on 2, which is one of our outs here. And again, this is why it's better to engage in a discussion instead of just like giving ultimatums or just like making point-blank statements like they could be facts. The converted mana cost of the card is the number printed in the corner. So if you overload a 2-mana spell while there's a Chalice on 2, your spell is going to be countered. Palace Jailer would have even been an okay draw there. The only time a converted mana cost differs from what's printed in the corner. So they block Jailer, push Cat. They don't have black mana, Marty. I also have a Chalice on 1. You should Mox just in case you draw Winds. How does that change anything? I can always Mox next turn, right? How does Moxing a turn sooner make anything different? We ran pretty good this league. Hitting some bad beats in this last game is whatever. It is not an instant, it is a sorcery. All right, not dead on board, and I have two Winds to draw into here. Yeah, 4-1 is solidly above expectations. For sure. What are the expectations of the next deck? 2 and 3. I have 2 wins and 42 cards here. And we have to dodge Force Blue card. So even if we hit our 2 outer, they might have a free counterspell. Ranger-Captain of Eos. Is that lethal? It's 1 point short of lethal, isn't it? That's such a tilt. It's 1 point short of lethal. That's so sad. Because this can get Walking Ballista. So I can hit them to 3, and then I can pay 3, play a land, play a Mox Diamond. Yeah, they're at 5. Yeah, we're one off of lethal. That's close. The best Heretic, thank you for the 7 months. Esper Miss Landrop, thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back, folks. Perfect emote confirmed. Yep. 2 plus 2 is in fact. Is it 5? Somebody help me. I don't know. Does anybody, and there's a good chance nobody in the audience understands that. Why are there format points and generic qualifier points? Like what's the difference between these? I'm not quite sure I get it. All right, so thoughts on this. To set a low bar, I feel like are they pinky because you use these points to get into the Mox events, right? These points get into the Mox events, or are these for something different? What are these for? Don't these get you into? And there's nowhere in client Magic Online. Oh, format playoffs. Okay, so format playoffs use the format points. And then is the Mox something different? Mox playoffs. Or Mox. Oh, this is why it's confusing. This is stupid. So here's something that's easy to remember, whoever named these things. So for these format championships, you use the points. So you use points to enter the format playoffs, and then the playoffs qualify you for the championship. But for the Magic Online Championship Series, the Mox, the playoffs are these. The playoffs are invite only who qualify via the preliminary. And in the Mox, the preliminaries are what you use the qualifier points to enter. So they have 2 different things named playoffs. And for the format championship, this playoff uses points to get into. And for the Mox playoff, this doesn't use the points. It uses, yeah, like, it's like the naming is super inconsistent. Like, you have to queue for the playoff for the Mox. Yeah, but you don't queue for the playoff for the format championship. This is, okay. And when are these format championships? Are these things that have happened already? Modern playoff. Alright, so this would be Q3. When's the Q3 Modern playoff? Oh, it's this weekend. Oh, I could totally play that on Saturday. Oh, I had it super confused. I thought it was the Mox. I must have been looking at a different calendar. Gah. I feel like this would be easier if there was just an actual calendar I could look at too. All right, I'm gonna put that back on my calendar. Maybe I'm gonna play that this Saturday. I have 70 format points. Starts at 8 a.m., which is 10 a.m. Central Time. I think you need 35, and I'm pretty sure I have 70. Format playoffs. You need 35 format points. I have 70 modern format points. So sorry to distract. To wrap on this deck, I would play another Pontiff for killing True Name Nemesis, and honestly, I think I'd play another Winds of Abandon too. Maybe I'd cut the fourth Surgical or the third Revoker for a Winds of Abandon. So, like, Ashworld, just again to articulate on why the details are important. So, like, even if you saying, should we put Chalice on 2 as a question and not a statement? Like, obviously, my answer to your question is I think you're wrong, because I put it on 1 and not 2 for a reason. So, like, if you can think and try and articulate why you think we should put it on 2, then we could have a discussion. But if you don't tell me where you're coming from, it's hard to discuss with you why I think you're wrong. All right. Anywho, speaking of modern, let's roll into some modern.